Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another 3-Minute Thursday. This is episode number 2. We did one last week, and today we're going to cover this lens from the 1960s, which is slowly becoming one of my favorite lenses, and we'll cover why here in the next 3 minutes. All right, everybody, so let's get started with this 3-Minute Thursday. So just a heads up, these 3-Minute Thursday videos are unedited because I want to use an entire 3 minutes of actual time. I don't want to edit the video to make it fit within 3 minutes. So there might be some bloopers and some other things like that during these videos that might add to the time frame. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right to it. So we'll start a timer here in the bottom. All right. So as I stated, we're going to cover this lens right here that's slowly becoming one of my favorite lenses. So this lens was manufactured in Russia in the 1960s. It's a 58mm lens, so it's kind of an odd size for nowadays. You know, you have 24s, 35s, 50s, 85s, but you don't really see a 58mm lens. So it's called a Helios 44M, and this is version number 2. There's also a version number 4, there's a version number 6, and they're all kind of about the same, just manufactured a little bit later. All right, so for this lens here, it does have an aperture range of 2 all the way to 16. Right, so it's not hugely wide. A typical aperture range covers all the way up to 22, but at having an aperture range of 2 is really awesome for this because it provides some really cool depth of field and lets a lot of light in for your images. It is going to be a manual focus lens. You're not going to be able to use autofocus with this because it is so old. So you're going to have to get used to that if you're not used to using a manual focus lens. That's one of the reasons I like it, because it forces me to practice my focal lengths and try and figure out exactly where I need to stand in order to use this lens. It's got a huge focal or focus range. So when you turn this, it's like 3/4 of a turn almost to get it all the way to one end. So if you were going to use this for video and you wanted to zoom, you're going to have to practice using this lens back and forth to get it, you know, your zoom function to work correctly. So this lens isn't going to just jump right on your camera. So I use this on my Sony A7R, which is the camera I'm filming on right now, and it's a Sony E-mount. So this is threaded just like a bolt or a screw. So you can't just screw this right onto your Sony camera, so you have to buy an adapter. So this is an adapter from Newer. I got it on Amazon for about $15. It's called an M42 adapter. It'll work for your Sony E-mount cameras, right? So you just take the lens, screw it on the adapter, and then the adapter mounts to your Sony camera just like you would just a typical lens. They make this adapter here for a Nikon cameras, Canon cameras, Olympus cameras, Pentax cameras. They make it for everything. So you can use this lens for all of your picture needs. So I haven't done many portraits with this lens just because I am not allowed here in Spain right now to go out. We're pretty much, I can drive to work and I can drive home. So that's about what we're limited to with the coronavirus. So maybe at some point I'll be able to go out and actually take a picture of a person with this lens. So here's some of the pictures I've taken of plants and things like that, just to kind of show you the effects in the background. So this is sometimes called a bokeh master lens just because of the cool bokeh effects that it has. So if you look in the background of these images, you'll notice that the bokeh has almost a swirling effect around the outside edges of the picture. And so typically bokeh is not flat, but it's pretty even all the way around, whereas this one kind of swirls around the edges. And so people kind of like this effect because it gives their images a unique perspective, and it just looks a lot different than a typical bokeh pattern. So I found that to get this bokeh pattern, you can't just go out and shoot pictures. Having your subject backlit really helps to show off this bokeh effect. So if you're gonna go out and take pictures and it's a cloudy day and there's no sunlight, it's probably not gonna work out as well as you would like. Whereas I went the other day and it was sunrise and I took some pictures with my 85mm 1.8 lens, and then I switched once the sun came up to this lens, and that's where I got these pictures that I'm showing you right now. So it takes some getting used to because of the manual focus, because of the aperture ring, and just trying to figure out what the sweet spot is to get that really cool swirly bokeh effect. All right, so that's it for this lens. So if you like what you saw, go ahead and hit like, go ahead and hit subscribe. We're gonna do more of these 3-minute Thursday videos. And while you're waiting to watch another one of them, make sure you get out there with your camera and get some good shots. Thanks for watching.